I have my family to thank for my literacy development. It all started when my parents decided that they wanted to start reading to me every single night. When I was little, my dad used to read storybooks to me or just the newspaper when he was going to bed. I remember one of my favorite stories that we used to read was Verdi, about the yellow snake who turned green. My parents are the reason I love reading so much, and I was so excited when I found out that I would have a little brother and sister to share that love with. I was so excited to be able to read to them that when my mom was pregnant with my brother, I even read to her tummy. Fast forward a couple of years, and my brother and I started reading together. Our favorite book to read together was The Very Hungry Caterpillar because you could see all the different food he ate. We began reading the story to my sister, and she loved it just as much as we did. My first grade teacher, Mrs. Sayre, always had us do writings for all the different holidays and events in our life. For Thanksgiving specifically, we did what we were thankful for. Thanks to Mrs. Sayre, I began to become a creative writer and really loved writing. I used to have a little journal I kept by my bed to write down the dreams I had. When third grade came, we got to write our own stories in the newspaper, and this is one of my favorite projects I ever got to do in school. My school was really big on reading and writing and expanding our love for both of these, that they always had us write our own bare books. This was really exciting for me because I got to be super creative and write about whatever I wanted. One of my favorite stories that I still like to look back on and laugh was one that I wrote about my favorite vacation. It's funny to look to see how much I've grown, especially with drawing and spelling. As I grew up, not only did my love for reading and writing grow, but also my love for sports. So much so that it impacted my brother and sister's want to read and write too. My parents noticed this and they decided to look into good books that I would like as a middle schooler. My favorite books were Junie B. Jones and the Magic Tree House books. I had every single one from both series. After middle school, I began to grow out of reading and writing. I still did well, but I didn't put in the same effort that I had put in when I was younger. My sports began to consume my life, and that became my main priority. Being so busy with my cheer and softball seasons, I never really had time to read books. I didn't realize I still loved books until I had my AP Literature class with my favorite teacher, Mr. Dignan. He brought back my love for reading and writing, and he made me want to become a teacher. This photo is of Mr. Dignan's kids and I. It was taken on Bring Your Child to Work Day when I was their buddy for the day. This was also the day that I realized I wanted to become an English teacher. I remember sitting in our school library with his oldest daughter Molly and discussing how much we loved Harry Potter. I realized that I loved discussing books with children and wanted to expand their love for reading, just like I had done with my younger siblings. Applying to IU, I applied to be a secondary education English teacher, and I have never changed my major since. All of my classes at IU make me love reading and writing and teaching even more. I have enjoyed learning how to teach the classics like The Catcher in the Rye and The Great Gatsby, but I have also found some of my favorite books. A couple of my favorite books are The Farming of Bones by Edwidge Danticat and When the Emperor Was Divine by Julia Otsuka. I believe reading opens your eyes to so many different perspectives around the world that you never could have seen before. This is why I've learned to love reading poetry as well, because you really get to see into the minds of all the different authors and their feelings. A way that I use my literacy skills outside of my classes and teaching at IU is in my IUDM committee, Riley Development. I love reading to the kids when we hang out, and I love expanding their knowledge on books too. I have a little buddy who is 8 years old and her little sister who is 6, and we love to read together. I also read and write with my camp kids too, but our favorite thing to do is to sing songs. We love to sing the Moana soundtrack together, and they know almost every word. Not only is music important to me when I'm hanging out with my camp kids, but also in my daily life. I'm always listening to music whether I'm walking to class, doing my homework, or hanging out with my friends. One of my favorite artists is Chance the Rapper because I think his raps are so beautiful and poetic. Not only is music fun to listen to, but it also tells a story and you are able to see into the writer's mind just as you would if you were reading a novel. Another way I write in my daily life is just by copying down fun, happy quotes. I love to do this not only so that I can look back on them if I'm having a bad day or want to inspire myself or others, but I also like to write down fun, meaningful quotes that I can eventually have in my classroom to help inspire my students. Not only do I enjoy copying down quotes, I also enjoy copying down some of my favorite song lyrics. This lyric is from one of Chance's songs that is my favorite. I hope to have these around my classroom when I'm a teacher so that I can inspire my future students to love reading, writing, and literacy as much as I do.